Hiya guys, happy Tuesday and welcome back to my channel. Could it be that the former president Jacob Zuma is also involved in these whole syndicates that have been exposed as of late? That is after a person that is said to have been related to Jacob Zuma was arrested yesterday in regard to the unaliving of a DA chief whip that dates back to 2023. In this video, I wanted us to discuss those allegations as well as the tenure of Jacob Zuma and how he might be connected to these political unalivings. Trigger warning to those ones that are Jacob Zuma's fans and don't want to hear anything negative being said about the former president Jacob Zuma. This is your time for you to sign out. Between the years 2009 and 2018, Jacob Zuma was the president of South Africa, and it is undeniable that during his tenure, especially the first term, he's made a lot of significant changes in South Africa. Three amongst many differences that he's made that I'll mention in this program was what? Number one, he expanded the social grant, child support, and pensions. Number two, he launched large projects like the Midupi, even though there were corruption allegations and delays, but that project was launched. He also partnered with BRICS and rolled out the largest ARV programs during that time, especially after Thabo Mbeki refused to provide that program. Jacob Zuma came in and provided that program. However, around the years 2013, 2014, we started seeing the talks around NHLANHLA, the influence of the Gupta families in the South African politics. I don't know if you guys remember the Saxon World Shebeen, which implicated the then CEO of Eskom, MP member of the ANC, Brian Molefe, where he was found in the commission, the State Capture Commission, and it was said that he was found in the Gupta houses from the phone records, and he refused and said that probably that is some Saxon Shebeen, and said that. So that was made a joke, if you guys remember that. That is when that started growing, and it became full-blown during the state capture. And if you guys remember, those allegations of state capture was the second term, which was around 2014 and 2018. That is when Jacob Zuma's presidency was filled with a lot of talks around Gupta's, even state capture. People called for his removal, Zuma must fall, junk status, Gupta families receiving tenders from government and contracts, as well as some public protests, which then gave rise to the RET faction, as well as the Ramaphosa reformists factions, which were formed as a result of that. Jacob Zuma then resigned as the president of South Africa, of which then Ramaphosa came in. So during his tenure, there's a couple of things that have happened, specifically in the policing sector. MKHWANAZI was the National Police Commissioner before MKHWANAZI became the acting National Police Commissioner. MKHWANAZI was removed as the National Police Commissioner in October 2011. The reason why he was fired was because of the HQ lease scandal. This is a scandal where MKHWANAZI approved two leases that are worth 1.6 billion. And these leases involved SAPS HQ services in Pretoria, as well, and also the new police building in Durban. And these facts were found by the public protector at that time, Thuli Madonsela, and said that at the center of these leases was Rooks Shabangu, a politically connected Mongol. And one would ask, is it the time when Ket Matlala started being introduced in the tender system, especially with the SAPS? That is very possible, but Matlala was mostly receiving tenders from SAPS at that time when MKHWANAZI was the National Commissioner with regard to procurement, such as weapons, uniforms, logistic, etc. It started then. So I assume that that is when MKHWANAZI and Matlala started working together. It then happened that after he was dismissed, MKHWANAZI, MKHWANAZI was appointed as the acting National Police Commissioner, and that was in the years 2011-2013. Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI has always been anti-corruption and has taken that stance inside SAPS, making him obviously an enemy amongst politically connected officers. MKHWANAZI openly suspended high-ranking officials, then has openly criticized the Guptas. He always was anti-police officers that are linked to the Guptas, which put him at odds with the Zuma-aligned faction, especially in cabinet as well as with the police. When Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI was removed as the National Police Commissioner or Acting National Police Commissioner, he had a clash. We know that even to this day, Jacob Zuma, as the leader of Umkhonto weSizwe Party, he doesn't waste time. Whenever you pose a threat to his cabinet or to his members or to his party, he removes you very quickly. For example, Floyd Shivambu, Mary Paddy. He's not a man that likes people to come and disturb whatever work that he has done or hard work. Nathi Mthethwa is the minister. If they have to remove people like the commissioner, yes, they have the power to decide for themselves. But do you think that they did that without consulting the ANC, without consulting Jacob Zuma in particular? Probably he did, and they approved that Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI needs to be removed because he was starting to be a problem, since he was starting to ask questions about the involvement, the police, as well as the expenditures, the tenders, and everything that has been happening.
Being in the organization, I'm sure you'll recall what happened back in 2011. I had the entire state security, the entire crime intelligence deployed on me. Because we were seen as a threat to the national security, simply because there was a file on our desk about a very senior politician. And as a result, they deployed all the state resources to counter that. And I mean, that's why I was sitting at home for a year, not working. So that was no surprise. South Africans have forgotten that. I sit at home without doing anything, simply because I dealt with the rogue animals in the organization, which then irritated some politicians. And I'm happy to say today, some of the rogue animals we're dealing with in the police are not in the service anymore. Some of them, senior people, are sitting in prison that we're dealing with back then in 2011. But when we're doing that, we were outcast. We were the bad ones, simply because we touched the wrong people. So we did not surrender then. We're not going to surrender now. So it's either we're on paper, we do it on paper, we find each other in court. You counter with whatever you counter. I'm not going to play in the media thing, so they can write whatever they like. I've been there. I've for so many years. I've been bruised. So this doesn't scare me, and I'm not going to waste my breath in dealing with people that are faceless. But for those that are within the system that are doing things wrong, we're going to challenge them legally and deal with them. But if they want to come physical, we'll find each other.
Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI was then replaced by Ria Pihega, the first woman to be the National Police Commissioner in 2013. Obviously, Ria Pihega herself has her own scandals of corruption, but one of the biggest situations that happened during Ria Pihega's term was the Marikana massacre, where more than 30 people were massacred in one day. And it was said that Cyril Ramaphosa, Ria Pihega were at the center of the conversations with regards to what should be done with these minors, for example, taking concomitant action.
Discussions with the Minister of Police, at the center of which is a gentleman called Cyril Ramaphosa.
Cyril Ramaphosa writes about the discussions he had with the Minister of Mining, Susan Shabangu.
She agrees that what we are going through is not a labor dispute, but a criminal act. She is going into cabinet and will brief the president as well and get the Minister of Police, Nathi Mthethwa, to act in a more pointed way. Let's just keep the pressure on them to act correctly.
Plainly, I'm quoting now, dastardly criminal and must be characterized as such. In line with this characterization, there needs to be concomitant action to address this situation. That at the heart of this was the toxic collusion between the SAPS and lawmen at the direct level. At a much broader level, it can be called a collusion between the state and capital.
Ria Pihega goes back to what I said, that as the National Police Commissioner, she can't make decisions by herself. Probably she did contact Nathi Mthethwa, who contacted the ANC or the president at that time, and they agreed that something should be done about the protest. And then on the other hand, we have Cyril Ramaphosa, who was the Lawmen board member and the major shareholders during the Marikana. And the emails revealed at the commission, the Farlam Commission, say that the police commissioner as well as the mining company took concomitant action against what they call a criminal strike. Ria Pihega showed no remorse after that situation.
That whatever happened represents the best of responsible policing.
Actually, she commended the police. Even Jacob Zuma himself, it took him time for him to go and condemn what was done with those miners. And he even delayed on visiting the mine and did not hold Pierre accountable. Instead, the Marikana massacre happened in 2012, but Pierre was only dismissed in 2015 after it was found in the class and board of inquiry that she was not fit for office. Then she was removed, suspended, and replaced with Khomotso Phahlane. Khomotso Phahlane also faced their own sets of corruption allegations, who was then removed and replaced by Ketla Sithole. Ketla Sithole joined in 2017 and his term ended in 2022. Let us go back because now we've moved very fast. Let us go back to the time of MKHWANAZI leaving and Pierre as the National Police Commissioner. When MKHWANAZI left and Pierre was the National Police Commissioner, the Political Unaliving Task Team was formed in 2016. That one was called the Interministerial Committee, which is the task team. It was established to investigate politically linked unalivings in KZN that escalated around the NC factional battles, especially leading up to 2017. It worsened. But before then, they had the Morane Commission. The Morane Commission is the one that made a suggestion that this should be done. So when this Political Unaliving Task Team, when this Political Unaliving Task Team was formed, it was formed under Nathi Nhlekho's leadership. When Nathi Nhlekho came in, he was replaced because there was cabinet reshuffle. Remember that when President came for second term, or the former President Jacob Zuma came for second term, he then reshuffled his cabinet, which then made Nathi Nhlekho as the Minister of Police. Nathi Nhlekho was notorious for defending Zuma and the NHLANHLA upgrades.
Accordingly, the state president is therefore not liable to pay for any of these security features.
He adds that due to all ongoing investigations into NHLANHLA, other crucial security features had to be delayed. Further security upgrades will now need to be completed as soon as possible.
The outstanding security-related work at NHLANHLA should be funded and completed expeditiously, including the re-evaluation of the current physical security measures. In this instance, the laws and prescripts are to be followed to the letter.
There was a lot of these unalivings that happened during that time, and still the results were not good from these unalivings that took place at that time. It got worse, especially leading up to the 2017 NASREC. Remember, guys, Bekicele was removed as the National Police Commissioner, meaning that his relationship with Jacob Zuma started to sour. He was a Zuma ally, but he then changed to being a Cyril Ramaphosa ally. That became even more prevalent during the CR17, as I've said. Now we are going to the CR17, which is the 2017 NASREC. There was a lot of unalivings that happened, but also people like Bekicele took advantage of that opportunity and started campaigning so that they can be in the good books of Cyril Ramaphosa. I assume that he then campaigned in KZN, and when he was campaigning in KZN, he then changed some of the people that were in Zuma faction to come to the Ramaphosa's faction, because there were people that were angry about the Gupta thing, angry about how Jacob Zuma was exposed, including the NHLANHLA situation. At that time, Zuma was hated not just by South Africans, but also by the ANC itself and some of the people that are members of the ANC. Bekicele might have taken advantage of the situation and then went and campaigned for Cyril Ramaphosa for the CR17. There's no record that there were certain fundings that is received from Ramaphosa, and there's no record also that is received funding from Keta Matlala or Brown Mokgotsi. But also, during the time when these allegations came that were made by MKHWANAZI, it was revealed that Brown Mokgotsi played some role in the CR17 campaign, that even his WhatsApp message was written CR17. So it is said that Brown Mokgotsi was involved there. And with the development of this story, we see that the person that has the money is Vusumuzi Matlala. Could it be that Vusumuzi Matlala funded Brown Mokgotsi as well as Bekicele for them to continue campaigning for the CR17, which makes him to be indirectly involved in CR17? That is just food for thought for you to think about. Then Cyril Ramaphosa wins these elections. Bekicele is made the Minister of Police. Going back again, 2017, when the political unalivings got worse, Fikile Mbalula was the police minister, and then Ketla Sithole was the national police commissioner. After Ramaphosa won his elections 2018, Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI comes back and becomes the KZN police commissioner. During that tenure, the second political UNALIVING task team was then formed, which gave powers to people like Begicele to be the chairperson of the committee that provided oversight over those political UNALIVING task team. We have these two members of the ANC protecting and safeguarding these investigations that are being done. Remember, Sindiso Magaqa as well as Khanyisile Ngobese, which is CBC. Both these people were unalived around the years 2017. And during that time, there was no one that was arrested who's the kingpin with regards to their unaliving. The people that were arrested, it was just people probably who did the hit, but not the people who made the instruction to the hit. Fast forward, Begicele becomes the minister. Now he's not only the chair of the political UNALIVING task team, but he's also the minister of police, which makes him to have even more power, which makes him to even award more tenders to his friend, Vusumuzi Ketmatala, as you all know, which has been revealed many a times. This then leads us to removal of Begicele. Begicele gets to be removed now as the minister. While that is happening, Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI is continuing with his investigations. He's checking whatever information that is there. But Begicele doesn't see him as a threat because he has the power. He decides, he's part of the chair of the political UNALIVING task team. He decides what should be done and what not should be done because he's also the minister. He can probably influence him and tell him what to do and what not to do. So MKHWANAZI does not really have that much power. Then MKHWANAZI continues with the investigation, which led now to the appointment of Senzo Mchunu. Senzo Mchunu is like, okay, everything is stable. He thinks everything is stable in KZN. Let me focus on Gauteng, especially since this political UNALIVING task team wants to now start the investigation in Gauteng. The investigation in Gauteng is very dangerous because now it has Hungwani Maumela, it has Bejani Chauke, it has Ground Rauchu, it has people like Vusumuzi Ketmatala. It has all these people that are the real culprits in this whole situation, that are running these whole syndicates. All of these people that I've mentioned, most of them are based in Johannesburg, in Gauteng, right? Now, if this investigation go there, who is going to protect these people? Hence, Senzo Mchunu was like, okay, I'll protect them by ensuring that this task team is disbanded. This man, Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI, is a problem. He's been a problem from the time of Jacob Zuma. It's not just a problem now, hence Jacob Zuma takes action very fast. And that's one thing about Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma's actions are very unpredictable, as I've said. He moves very quickly. Unlike Cyril Ramaphosa takes time. And probably it was not easy for Senzo Mchunu to just remove Lieutenant General Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI. He had to makes his steps very carefully, especially since at that time Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI was starting to gain traction from us. We started loving Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI. We started believing Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI. People started making him trend that this is what he did. He gets these people that are wrong to us very quickly. However, these cases that date back to the time of Jacob Zuma have not been convicted, and he's busy investigating them. And also one of the things that weakened the position of the ANC, amongst many, is the formation of the GNU. Because at first, Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI was not able to penetrate through because it was always ANC majority, everybody controls everything. But now, with the formation of the GNU, there's loopholes. We have a minister that belongs to the ANC, another one belongs to the DA, another one belongs to PA. It's not that unity thing. It's not that Hlangana ANC. It's not like let's come together ANC. There's not like it's not easy to say, oh, someone is corrupt and call who to protect who. There is that gap that is there that has been formed by the introduction or the existence of the GNU. So Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI also took advantage of that loophole that ANC is not in majority anymore. We have the GNU, and then executed his plan very well. It disbanded the task team. Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI then being contacted by Brown Mokgotsi. I don't know if Brown Mokgotsi someone made Brown Mokgotsi angry, but Brown Mokgotsi saw it fit that he should contact Nhlanhla MKHWANAZI, tell him or give him a tip off that these people are trying to remove you. And when he received that tip-off, he thought that it would be perfect for him to then expose these people now or never. He then made that press conference and exposed them. It is then alarming that this situation of a traditional leader known as Inkosi SIMPHIWE, a traditional leader of Nxamalala clan in Impendle, related to Jacob Zuma, though not a direct descendant, they are just related. They have a same paternal lineage. This man is said to have orchestrated the unaliving of a DA chief whip, Hlalayenza Ndlovu, in 2023, and Induna Qelokuhle Zuma, January 2023. Mind you, these things happened 2023 during Bheki Cele's tenure, or during Bheki Cele's leadership and Ramaphosa as the president. He allegedly paid hitmen to unalive these people. Why is it that these people are arrested now by the political task team? Not just that, even the unaliver of a whistleblower yesterday was also arrested. Why is it that these arrests are happening now after MKHWANAZI has to fight so hard for the task team to exist, has to even expose the police for the task team to be able to do its job without political interference? And also, going back to the issue of arrests being made and stuff like that, Jacob Zuma had selective arrests. Yes, he did make arrests, but it was very selective. Whistleblowers, councillors, and ANC branch members were unalived, including what happened in Marikana. Do you guys know that to date, there's not even one person that has been arrested with connections to the more than 30 people that were unalived in Marikana? Going back even to July unrest, even Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI said this.
Alcohol, if you were to ask me as a police officer, I'll tell you, ban alcohol in the township and in the rural areas. Just completely shut it down. But can I? I won't be able to do that because during the July riots last year, I received more than 10 phone calls in the middle of the night when the shops, different shops have been looted, without getting any phone call from a minister. But more than 10 ministers called me one evening because there were threats towards the SA breweries in Spring. So that was the first time I got calls from ministers. Until I asked, because what is so special about these SA breweries? Why must we all divert all our resources to go and protect SA breweries? So there's something with alcohol in our country that got even the cabinet ministers active on that evening. So I really don't know. But if you were to ask me, I'll say shut it down.
So alcohol was more important because alcohol is a place that gives politicians and police money. Because he was told that no, go and protect stores that sell alcohol. Bheki Cele came and closed alcohol during COVID-19. People were like, oh my God, he cares about South Africans. No, he was only protecting the business of ministers and politicians because they've invested more on that, to a point that if you guys are living in South Africa enough, you know that in South Africa, when you want to sell alcohol, it's not easy, it's very hard. Even to get that license, it's not easy, it's very hard. So that business is like the taxi business and the tender business. It has been closed off to certain people. Not anybody can access it or penetrate through. Why did General MKHWANAZI be removed to begin with? What is it that was hidden during Jacob Zuma's tenure? We see that, yes, Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI is doing well now by exposing the Ramaphosa tenure, but what is it about the Zuma tenure that he discovered at that time which he was not able to expose because he was quickly removed? These presidents, it's unfair for us as South Africans to say that Ramaphosa knows everything, but we don't want to agree that Jacob Zuma knew everything. Especially now with people that hold the same surname as him, and mostly when it comes to Zulu people, even in other cultures, whenever you share similar surnames, that person is your cousin. And here with the information that I found, he is indeed a relative of Jacob Zuma. Could it be that this political unaliving task team, as they said that they're supposed to investigate the ANC unalivings, not everybody's unalivings? Because even with Babita, if you guys remember, probably that's what MKHWANAZI was going to do if they came in Joburg to investigate the unaliving of Babita. People were arrested, yes. Even one of the people that hired the hitmen was even assassinated himself. But the question still remained, who ordered the hit? And probably the political unaliving task team was going to find that out, and they became a problem. Hence, they had to disband them very quickly. So the question that remains is how back does this crime and syndicate dates? Seems like it started in that time of Jacob Zuma. How innocent is Jacob Zuma in this whole thing? Could it be that he should also be summoned to the commission? Could it be that he's as rotten and as corrupt as Cyril Ramaphosa? The only difference is that Cyril Ramaphosa has done nothing for South Africans, whereas Zuma tried to do something during his tenure. I don't know, please guys, comment your thoughts. Tell me what you think about this whole thing. If whether you think Jacob Zuma's tenure was as dirty as Ramaphosa or it was better. And also, what do you think about it? These many things connecting that it started way back. It started way back, and MKHWANAZI, they've been trying to silence him from long ago. But now he's told himself that no more. I rather risk my life than for them to put me in a bench whereby I won't have access to the media and these people anymore. Lastly, as a final point, the Deputy National Police Commissioner has lost the case that he has lodged so that he can go back to work. The article says that Shadrack Sibiya has lost his High Court bid to overturn the stay-at-home order he received in July and return to work. National Police Commissioner General Fanny Masemola ordered Sibiya to stay at home pending an investigation after KwaZulu-Natal top cop Lieutenant General MKHWANAZI implicated him in allegations that the country's criminal syndicate system had been captured. I like the fact that News 24 does acknowledge that MKHWANAZI is a top cop, unlike those Daily Maverick guys who were disputing that fact. Sibiya then lost an urgent application in the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, challenging Masemola's order, which he labelled a disguised suspension. The case was heard by full bench last week and dismissed with cost on Tuesday. The court found, amongst other things, that Sibiya's legal team attempt to convert or elevate the stay-at-home instruction to a suspension is not supported by evidence. So I think I made a video around this as to the powers of the commission as well as Fanny Masemola. That one of the arguments that were raised by the legal representative of Sibiya is that since the matter is before the commission, Fanny Masemola does not have the power anymore to suspend Sibiya or remove him or anything of that kind. And I did give you guys that legal basis as to who holds the power. But the court has decided that the stay at home is not really a suspension. It's just that stay at home. And I'm just now wondering as to who is lying. Because it seems like Sibiya is a liar, guys. Sibiya is a liar because he is the first person. He's the same person that said ad hoc committee will start or will call him first this week. And then he also lied and said that he's not safe with his family, hence he wants to go back to office. From this judgment, clearly, safety is not his concern. Safety is not his concern. He just wants to go back to work. He just feels like he's been suspended. Whereas now with this judgment, it seems like it's been confirmed that he's not really suspended. I don't know. Please tell me your thoughts, guys, what you think. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next upload. Bye.